All right, hello everyone. Um, this is the second time I'm giving this class today. I didn't record it the first time, so I'm going to record it this time. We're learning we're finishing it up, God willing, today. And the name of the Maimar is Tzion b'mishpat tepare v'shaveh b'tzedakah, and it's the end of this week's Haftorah. Here it is. Here's the Haftorah of this week. The Haftorah starts off with Chazan, the vision of Isaiah ben Amutz Yeshayahu. And then he really reprimands the Jewish people. You Jewish people, you're terrible. I brought you up like children, and you're even worse than animals. An ox knows its owner, and you don't know me. And you're running after all these strange gods and all these weird things. And it ends up by saying, God says on a positive note, in Isaiah in general, it's about 60 chapters, 63 chapters or something, and the first 40 chapters, it's the main messages are really reprimands, very severe, reprimanding the Jews for not listening to God. But every one of those chapters, it always has some sort of a positive note in it. And then when it gets like after the 40th chapter, that's the first 40. And then after 40, then it starts getting much, much more positive. But nevertheless, even in the ones that are, severe, there's always something good. There's always a positive note in there. And here's the positive note over here. It ends up by saying, Sion means the Jewish people. And b'mishpat tepare will be redeemed in justice. V'shaveh, and her prisoners with charity. Okay, so the Rebbe explains Sion refers to the inner essence of the Jewish soul, and it can never be put into captivity, but it can be concealed, it can be hidden, and that has to be revealed by mishpat. Mishpat, the Rebbe said, meant Torah, learning the Torah. And v'shaveh, that's talking about the external part of the Jews, how Jews can really be, they can act not like Jews, and they can think not like Jews, etc. It says all that's the external part of the Jew. As that has to be something a little more powerful, that's tzedakah, that's charity. That's charity, we'll redeem that. But the point of the course is, it's a promise over here, that he's promising that in fact the Jewish people will come back to their senses. And then when we see that the Jews are called Sion, that the essence of the Jewish soul is always good, is we can see because Jews nowadays, even the most distant Jews, even the most anti-Jews, even Jews that are active atheists or leftists or communists, very rarely will they deny that they're Jews. Very rarely, if ever, will they deny that they're Jews. And even more if you say, you're not a good Jew. They'll say, I'm just as good a Jew as you are. You'll also find that. But denying they're Jews is very rare. So the essence of Jewish identity somehow remains there, but it's just covered over. So it's there, which is not the case. The external can be completely, how do you call it, obfuscated? They can be completely detoured in the wrong way. Okay, so it says that's by means of, okay, so up to now, we've been saying that learning the Torah is what's going to reveal Sion, the essence of the Jewish soul. And the charity will reveal a little bit more external level of the soul, external soul. But that's the first two. But now we're going to learn something a little bit different. And the Rebbe brings from a midrash. The midrash says that God promised Abraham that he would give him two signs, and that is tzedakah and mishpat. No, God said he's going to give the Jews two signs, tzedakah and mishpat, and the Jews will awaken in God two signs. So he's going to make two signs. And God says, I'm taking two signs from myself, and I'm going to reveal that to you. When you do tzedakah and mishpat, you do your two signs, tzedakah and mishpat, the Torah and acts of kindness, then I'll reply and give you my two things. What are my two things? rachamim, and chesed. So let's go and see. We're gonna come back to this here. We're gonna come back to this. Let's do the. Right, here we go. Ready? Let's go. Okay, so God said, "You do your two things, I'll do my two things." Your two things are tzedakah and mishpat. Tzedakah, giving charity, doing the commandments, and mishpat, learning the Torah. And I'll give my two things, which are rachamim, mercy, and chesed, means love. Omar says, like it says, Omar Merachamecha, says the one who has mercy on you, Havaya, the name Yudke Vavke. So what is this aspect of mercy? This is, in a way, God's true nature. Those people that say God of the Jews is retribution and severe, and it's not so. The essence of what God's real nature is mercy, 13 attributes of mercy. That's called the 13 attributes of mercy. When the Jewish people sinned with the golden calf, worst sin possible, God told them face to face, directly. They didn't hear it from a rabbi or from their mother or father. They heard it directly from God at Mount Sinai. Don't worship any idols except for the one who took you out of Egypt. Right? The first of the 10 commandments, I am God who took you out of Egypt. The second one is don't worship anything else. And they did it. They worshiped the golden calf. So that's it. God said, I'll wipe them all out. And Moses said, no, don't do it. And God said, okay. And Moses said, so make it easier for me to pray to you. Tell me how to evoke your mercy. And God gave him the 13 attributes of mercy. And these 13 attributes of mercy, they're revealed every Yom Kippur, like we're going to learn later on. And this is drawn down by means of the mishpat. But we have to do our two things, mishpat and tzedakah. And God reveals his rachmim, mercy, his mercy, and his kindness. Chesed also means love. So when we do the first of our two things, mishpat, we learn the Torah, then God reveals his mercy. That's especially on Yom Kippur. What happened on Yom Kippur was the high priest went into the Holy of Holies. What was in the Holy of Holies? The Torah. The Torah, the 10 commandments, that was in the Holy of Holies. So when they did that, that revealed God's mercy. She'osa Adam, that a person has to, but how do we evoke this? By means of judgment, justice, severity. A person has to be severe with himself. And therefore it says on Yom Kippur, therefore it says on Yom Kippur that you have to make yourself suffer. You don't eat, you don't drink, you don't wear the shoes, right? You're not supposed to wash. Yom Kippur. You suffer. What does it mean suffer? It means you control yourself. That's like, this is also touched on in the menorah. It says the menorah that had to be beaten. A bitush adam, that a person controls himself, forces himself to do what the Torah says is good, and forces himself to refrain what the Torah says is not good. By means of this, you draw down the 13 attributes of mercy. Kashem and Atov, like it says, King David says in the Psalms, it says like the good oil that comes down on the beard of Aaron. The beard of God is called the 13 attributes of mercy. And this is done by means of the Torah. The Torah is also called judgment, severity, because the Torah tells you what is good according to God and what is forbidden according to God. And according to those criteria, you're supposed to conduct yourself. A lot of the things it says in the Torah are not natural for a person. For instance, in the Torah, it says a Jew is forbidden to eat milk and meat. There's nobody who naturally does not eat milk and meat together. There's people who don't eat meat. Maybe there's people who don't eat milk. But those people who do eat milk and meat, they naturally, no human being in the world refrains from eating milk and meat together. The Torah says, no, we can't. Right? No human being himself, on Saturday, you don't light fire. On Saturday, you can light fire on any day of the week. Saturday, no, don't light fire on Saturday. Why not? because it says in the Torah that on Friday, on Shabbos, a Jew is not, we're only talking about Jews here. Non-Jews can light as much as they want, as long as they don't burn down, other people's property. You can light a fire. Torah says on Shabbat, it's one of the worst sins you can do to light a fire on Shabbat. To write a letter on Shabbos, even 2 letters, even one. It's a sin from the Torah, right? Nobody naturally does those things. Naturally. So the laws of the Torah are not things that go according to nature, and you have to force yourself to refrain what the Torah says is forbidden and to do what the Torah says is a commandment. You have to do it. So that's called mishpat. You have to apply force yourself to do good. Force. When you do that, that draws down what's called the 13 attributes of mercy. So that's what it means that when the Jews do tzedakah and mishpat, when they are severe with themselves, then God gives them chesed and rachamim. Rachamim is mercy. Then they draw down the 13 attributes of mercy, like it says in another place, after God. Okay. But inyan bechinas chesed, that's mercy. What about love? Shamash mashahu lamaila, it seems that it's above mercy. God said, I will give you mercy and love. Now, usually it doesn't work that way. Usually it's explained that love is not as efficient as mercy. What's the difference between love? You just give out to everybody, right? Good love, you're just giving, I love all mankind. Everybody that comes to my house, I give them, $1,000. But one thing, there's coming drug addicts, there's coming criminals, there's liars. I'm just giving them love, right? What's mercy? Mercy means you judge a person. Person comes in, yes, I want the $1,000. You look at him, you're lying. You're a drug addict. No, I'm telling the truth. I'm really not. No, I see. I'm willing to give you $10,000. $10,000 in rehab. You go to rehab, I'll pay all of the expenses of the rehab until they say that you're good. 10,000. If it costs 20,000, I'll do it. Right? That's rachamim. That's mercy. Oh, so what's better? Kindness or mercy? Mercy is better, right? It says, yeah, but in a way, yes, but in a way, not. Because what is really the source of mercy? The source of mercy is really love. You want to give love to the other person, but you realize this person is not a vessel. So therefore, you control, you articulate the love so that it comes down into a way that this person, that's called mercy. Okay, so mercy is better because it's accepted, right? But love is much more powerful. Love is the motivating force behind mercy. So that's what the Rebbe is saying. God is telling us that if we control ourselves, then he'll give mercy. Mercy. This is tremendous rachamim gedolim, tremendous mercy, the 13 attributes of mercy. If so, why does God say, and I'll also give you chesed, love? Why? Chesed means kindness, but we'll say love. But the Indian is like this, the hine la'il, above, there's a sentence that says, Tzion, above the sentence that we just finished learning in the beginning, Tzion b'mishpat tapara v'shaveh v'tzedakah. So above that it says, L'chu na v'nivvachacha yomor Hashem, im yu chata'echem kashanim kashelig yalbinu. 1 minute, please.